Okay, 좋네. The most stable one is amide. Next one will be acid. Acid. Oh, acid and carboxylic acid. And ester is the next. Okay, acyl halide is number one. Anhydride. And then acyl phosphate. And okay, order again. Acyl halide is the most reactive, and anhydride, acyl phosphate, and then geoester was lower, and then ester, and then acid, and amide. 테이블에는 안 들어있었지만 we saw ATP was on top, and then using this energy, acyl phosphate was made. Using acyl phosphate, diester was made. So we can assume that in biological system, ATP is the highest, and then acyl phosphate and diester. Okay, very good. Acid to chloride, so the association to. This looks similar, but this is not. This is a dehydrating reagent. If we use PBr3, we will get acyl bromide. This is a lower energy one, and it becomes a high energy one. It's a little funny. All the reactions, so all the chemistry should happen from high energy to low energy. We're unstable one to the stable one. That's the direction of every reactions. That's a thermodynamic first, second, third, fourth visual. Everything the reaction should move from high energy to low energy, temperature, high temperature to low temperature. That's a thermodynamic law of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is it? 연료값 제일 높지. 해봐. 저 해. 해보세요. 제1법칙은 모든 에너지는 보존된다. 이게 제1법칙 아니야? 그러면? 진짜 second. 제2법칙. 여러 가지로 표현이 되지만 엔트로피는 증가하는 쪽으로 간다. 이게 설명할 수 있는 가장 고급적인 거지만 내용이 그게 갖고 있는 내용을 보면 높은 에너지에서 낮은 에너지로, 높은 온도에서 낮은 온도로 엔트로피는 증가하는 쪽으로, 무질서해지는 쪽으로. 이게 second. 세상에서 방향 일어날 수 있는 일의 방향이 어디서 어디로 간다를 정의하는 것은 인력학 제2법칙과 있습니다. 다른 모든 법칙들은 다 이퀄리브리엄이라고 생각해도 거꾸로 가도 생각을 해야 되는데 이 인력학 제2법칙만 한쪽에서 한쪽으로 넘어갈 수 있어요. 그래서 카메라로 촬영을 했을 때 이게 앞으로 가고 있는 건지 뒤로 가고 있는지를 구분할 수 있는 법칙은 인력학 제2법칙과 있습니다. 제3법칙은 또 다른 얘기고 아무리 낮은 데로 가도 에너지가 새로 가되지 않는다. 이게 제3법칙이고 제4법칙은 뭐지? 난 아직 못 들어봤는데 제3법칙까지 있는 것 같아요. 오케이, 야, 거의 이만큼에 가깝네. DCC를 알고 있겠습니다. 이제 성적이 너무 좋다 했더니 is it DCC catalyst or reagent? If you need to use a very small amount and it can be regenerated and recycled, that's a catalyst. Catalyst usually you don't need to use molecule. It's a small amount. 10%, 1%, the smaller the better. That's a catalyst. To make a one amide bond, you need to use one equivalent of a DCC. And reaction mechanism wise, that react with which partner first, acid or amine? Amide formation between acid and amine, why is that difficult? And the product is amide, right? CO and H2. NH2 attack the carboxyl and the acid CO, the common side, and then OH should be removed. That reaction is difficult. Usually it doesn't happen. Why it does not happen? Which part is difficult? Yungyama, what do you think? Why is that difficult? Why is that difficult? the OH, the hydroxide is not good living group. So even though amine attack the carbonyl position, OH is difficult to remove. So DCC's role is by reacting with the carboxyl acid and not amine, and then activate that OH by putting something on the pole, and the whole group becomes a more reactive, good living group. Okay, that's the role of DCC. So DCC reacted with the acid first, and that's the activating group for carboxyl acid and amine. Amine, you don't need to do anything. Amine is still nucleophile. So this picture is important. This is almost same reaction for the old acyl reaction we are learning this week. 최소한 중요한 거라고 했고 요즘 잘하다가 보는 것 같은 거 유정이가 됐어. 오늘 수업에 안 오기로 하면 괜히 안 한 것 같은데 왜 3명이나 모자르지? Okay, based on this, we start today's class. Okay, we are here, still in the middle, and out of 5 chapters here. So after this, we have only 2 chapters left, and then we'll take the second exam. Okay. 그래서 잘 리뷰하고 잘 정리해가지고 다음 시험 준비 잘 해보길 바래. So this is the everything of this chapter. Okay. So reactivity-wise, from acyl chloride as the anhydride, and then in between here there was acyl phosphate. If it's a triphosphate, then may be near to anhydride around here. Okay. That's ATP. this is acyl phosphate, thioester, and ester, and amide, and acid is here. Okay? So this is the most important table. 다음 퀴즈 보니까 대부분 이거는 기억을 하고 있어서 좋네. Okay, today we studied about the very first one, acyl halide reaction. You can react anything. It's number one guy. And we learned about anhydride. There's the second guy. Except the first one, it can form everything below that. Okay. Ester is a little lower than that, but that's still higher than acid. So acid reaction. So this guy is the acid structure, the ester structure. Here one side is from alcohol and the other side is carboxyl acid. By naming, we said this is methyl. By naming, we are just free here. Methyl OH. OH means COO minus. Okay, so this is the ester structure, and one of those most important, the ester in our body is a lipid. So the three components in our body, most important components. One is protein. What's the second one? Three major components of our body in biological system. Protein, carbohydrate, and lipid. Those three. And this is a lipid, one of the most abundant lipid structure. Here, if you look at acyl group, ester bound here, and then alcohol is not single alcohol. It's three OH groups attached. That alcohol name is glycerol. Glycerol is attached to two fatty acid or three fatty acid. That's a major structure of lipid molecules. Now, if you look at here, now sometimes we call this ester, the 지방 or 기름기 많은 음식, is that neutral or acidic or basic? Sometimes we hear 산성 음식, alkali 음식, 중성 음식, things like that. Lipid is 산성 or 중성 or alkali. What do you think? 들어본 적 없어? They say this lipid food is 산성 음식. Do you agree? Ester is acidic. It seems like it's neutral. 보면 중성 같잖아. 상당히 산성이에요. So we'll talk about later. Okay, so for making ester, three reactions we learned. So basically, you need to have one acid and one alcohol. And under acidic condition, and if you add alcohol, acid, the carboxyl acid, alcohol, and acid catalyst, and then you can form by removing the water, you can form ester. That's one method. The other method was utilizing this catalyst, and then carboxylate act as nucleophile, and then react with the acyl halide, and this O minus attack here push out this halide. It was the second reaction, second method. And what is the mechanism of this pathway? What is the mechanism of that pathway? 승준이, 박승준. OH가 카본을 때려서 하나이가 떨어져 나왔으면 그래서 그런 리액션은 무슨 리액션이라고 하죠? SN2 reaction. If that happens properly, then stereochemistry, stereocenter conversion is also happens. Okay, that's SN2 reaction. Okay, and so the method was this is maybe a harsh reaction. You need to add acid and boil it, and it may not be the mild condition. This is also you need a strong base. So third reaction is to activate your acid first using associative, and then convert this into the reactive species, acyl halide. So this is kind of upward by putting energy. How this happens? Because this is a low energy, this is the high energy, and this is the opposite of a thermodynamic law, second law, right? Then what happens? How could you make it? The energy came from this guy. This guy is more reactive than this guy. That's why by reacting these two, it generates a little less reactive than this, but more reactive than this. Then you ask the next question, how do you prepare this one? Right? So that reagent should not exist in nature. So that's artificially made by putting a lot of extra energy to make it, to pump up the material to more reactive species, and isolate it and keep it very safely at low temperature without oxygen. Then we use those kind of reagent as a chemical reagent. Then what is the original source of that energy? We need to put extra energy to make this energetic material. At least the biggest energy source should come from the sun. Then light energy is providing all the energy we utilize right now. Electric energy, biological energy, or fuels, all the energies we believe that's the majority of the source. Okay. So this is one way to convert it to the acidic acyl halide. Then the next step reaction is quite easy. Any nucleophile connected here, you need to use weak base to slow down the reactions. If you don't slow it down, then it can be easily explosive. Very hot energy, a lot of heat is generated, and by generating very reactive one, now you slowly rolling to the next step, and you can compress it. 3 methods. Okay, acid catalyst, most vigorous heating, and then base catalyzed and attack to acyl halide and activate this first, and then to the second time, the next reaction. DCC is one kind of this reagent. DCC forms intermediate here. This guy attack DCC and then forms intermediate, not separate intermediate but conjugated intermediate. Then amine come in and attack and release it. Okay, similar on the mechanism. So these 3 methods are the ester preparation. So once you formed the ester, then you can give the name. Now, if that ester is a cyclic form like this structure is ester, the functional group here, but the whole structure is in cyclic form, then we have a special other name we give lactone. Okay. Cyclic ester is a lactone. And by the numbering, so we have this carbonyl, then this position we call alpha position. Okay. Next to carbonyl. If you give the numbering, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you give alpha beta system, then next to carbonyl is alpha. Okay. Then this is alpha, beta, gamma, delta. If this is 5 memory, then what do you think? If it's a 5 memory, then what kind of alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. If it's 5 memory, then what happens? 다시 해볼까? 알파, 베타, 감마, 델타가 6 memory. If it's a 5 memory, then gamma 4 memory. 알파, 베타, 델타. 이거 좀 너무 안 같은데. 한번 해보자. So this is the delta lactone. Now, reaction of ester. One reaction is once we have ester, then reverse reaction by adding water, either acid condition or base condition. If it's a base condition, then OH minus hydroxide is the nucleophile. It attacks here, forming this intermediate. Now, 2 choices: either this is removed or this is removed. If you have a lot of water, then equilibrium will be shifted to this end. Right? alcohol number is smaller, water number is a lot more, then equilibrium is pushed to the acid direction. If it's acidic condition, still they can work. Base condition again. Now the cleavage side, if water attack here, then this oxygen originally in the part of acid, cleavage happens here. And this oxygen is going together with alcohol. So we will do this again here. Now the oxygen source is different. In this case, this oxygen came from alcohol. In this case, this oxygen came from acid. Depending on the mechanism, the source of the oxygen is different. So later, if I ask you label this with some oxygen, and there is this guy in the product, then you should point out, you should be able to point out. So similar situations here, if you add water, basic water, OH right here, then this O is incorporated into acid. And then this oxygen is removed by alcohol. This reaction can happen under acidic condition. To activate this, protonation happens on the carbon oxygen, and then water attack, and then now question. Now we have seen two methods of base catalyzed reaction and acidic catalyzed reaction. Base catalyzed reaction, that base is a catalyst of reaction. In this reaction, OH minus the base is a catalyst of reaction. That's a reason. Because the end product is, after you hydrolyze this ester, end product is neutral alcohol plus acidic hydroxylic acid. In the beginning, I asked you whether the liquid is neutral food or acidic food. It looks like this is hidden inside here, but if this is a hydrolyzed, the body is a hydrolyzed, it generates acid, this kind of hidden acid. So that means any ester material you take eventually after hydrolysis it generates acid. That's why those fruit is called as acid. This generated acid can catch and consume that base. That's why you need to infuse at least 1 equivalent of base. Then you can finish this reaction. Then next question. If that is acidic catalytic reaction. Now this acid is catalyst or reason. This is a catalyst. This is not used up here. Even when the reaction started and started to generate this acid product, you make more acid. So once this reaction is started, then more catalyst is automatically generated. So that's why this reaction in the beginning is a little slow. Once it's started, it's exponentially the speed up because the catalyst amount is even increased. In acidic condition, this can happen faster, and product is acidic, and then product acts as catalyst too. And it was not consumed during the reaction, it just stays there. Acid is the product, and helping the reactions. Okay? So this hydrolysis seems like this is similar reactions, but it has quite different mechanism. Mechanism may be similar, nucleophilic attack and release, but one requires same amount of base material. The other one is just a catalytic amount of acid material, because the product is acid itself. Okay. Now moving to, if you add ester is almost the bottom, right? The only one below the ester is amide. Okay. So if you have an ester, sorry, there is one more. Yeah, there was acid and the amide. So if you add amine, then this amine eventually can replace this, it can generate the amide. Now this reaction, okay, this coming back later. So how about this one? You have an ester, If you use lithium aluminum hydride, what product do you get? Lithium aluminum hydride, sodium borohydride, both of them are hydride source, H minus source. Lithium aluminum hydride is a little more reactive. H minus attacks here, then reaction site is it attacks here, then it can push out this leaving group first, then it forms aldehyde. Aldehyde is more reactive than ester. Then maybe second hydride can come in, and then further reduce this, and then you can form this alcohol. So this one we have learned before. Right? So we have the case of ketone aldehyde. Sodium borohydride also can react to generate alcohol. But ester acid, we need a stronger reagent, lithium aluminum hydride. It doesn't start in the middle, finish up. Now here, if you can look at here, how about this guy? This double bond is, if this attack here, it could be 1,4 addition. If this guy attack here, that's a 1,2 addition. The numbering was a 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is added here, then this product is only 1,2 addition product. Right? If a 1,4 addition also can happen, then this can attack here, then this double bond can be removed. But that 1,4 addition does not happen. This one is very small and hard hydride, so that prefers hard part, the CO bond here, rather than this one. If you want to reduce this, what reagent could you use? We learned something. To add hydride, the hydrogen source in this two part and reduce, what reagent do you need? 처음 듣는 얘기예요. 원세가 what do you need? You have a double bond. Forget about this carbonyl. Just a simple double bond, alkene, and you wanted to reduce that with a hydrogen source. What catalyst? What reagent do you need? Palladium and H2. Palladium is a catalyst, and you can use H2 hydrogen molecule. Then this is equivalent hydrogen. Right? So prepare to go to non-polar double bond. So then, if you wanted to reduce this, then you need to use palladium, platinum is stronger, and hydrogen gas. Then we can reduce this. But this is a polar one. CO is a negative, positive. Then it's better to use the nucleophilic one. Then this is the H minus here. Okay, that's the selectivity you can achieve. How about this? If you have a lactone, this lactone is what lactone? Alpha lactone, beta lactone, form to beta, gamma lactone. If you have the gamma lactone and if you have lithium aluminum hydride, then if hydride attack here, what product do you expect? First one is this hydride attack here, push this out, right? Bring open. And then second one, another one come in and then reduce it. Then this position becomes alcohol. This is leaving group. It's a leaving group, but it's connected. That's why it stays there. Makes sense, right? Then you can count the carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, and about 4 position OH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4H, OH, and then 1 CCC. Okay. 아주 복잡하진 않지? It's just intra-molecular reactions, but same reaction. If you use lithium aluminum hydride, we can reduce the acid ester to the alcohol. Okay, a little difference. Here, just the mechanism. Aldehyde is more reactive. That's why it does not stop here. It goes further to finish the reaction with the alcohol product. Okay, how about this? How can you make this? Now, starting from ester. Now you want to start the reaction in aldehyde. If you use a sodium borohydride, lithium aluminum hydride, it will go to the end alcohol. And if you use a sodium borohydride, what happens? no reaction. Reaction doesn't happen. Then that's something a little funny in between. So here 우리 잠깐 배우고 지나갔는데 이런 게 있어 지나갔는데 this reaction type up. Similar cases we had the sodium borohydride and lithium aluminum hydride. In between we learned something BH3. These guys are anion BH4 and the aluminum H4 minus. If you remove one hydride, then neutral molecule BH3. Here similar AlH3 kind of reagent. This reagent is a little more reactive than borohydride, but less reactive than lithium aluminum hydride. And with this bulky group, once one hydride attack here, this is pushed out, and these guys are block this area, and then prevent of a second approach of aldehyde, the hydride. So as you can guess, it's 디자인에서 만들기가 쉽지 않았을 거예요. 이것저것 아이디어 넣어가지고 bulky 그룹들 막 만들어보고 해가지고 어쩌다가 이렇게 만들었더니 요금 되네 하고 써졌을 거예요. 처음에는 bulky 한번 쓴다고 여기도 아큐 붙여보고 뭐 별별 짓을 다 했을 텐데 해보니까 요 정도 bulkiness 가지고 있으면 재밌게도 하이드라이드 하나 들어가고 나서 요거 밀어내고 나서 얘가 안 가가지고 이거 더 이상 안 가게 조절할 수가 있네 하는 정도를 설명했습니다. As a result, this reagent becomes very useful reagent, very unique reagent too, starting from aldehyde, so starting from ester, and partially reduce and generate aldehyde, which is not easy in organic chemistry. So this is quite a unique reagent. Dival or dival, BHL or H, same reagent, just a little different name. Dival is the reagent. So as a reminder, Desmartin reagent is used for what? Desmartin reagent is used to make aldehyde. What is the starting material? Alcohol. Starting from alcohol, you want to stop the oxidation, Desmartin reagent. Okay, what to expect? Ester and Grignard reagent. Reduction was H minus. This is a carbon minus. Right? Carbon minus attack, and once that attack is push this out, and then one phenyl group can get in, then pentaphenyl. Two phenyl and carbon in between. You may stop there or go to the next step. Looks like diphenyl is quite bulky too, right? But in this case, the second reaction also can happen. One more phenyl can come in and push this out. That means this, if this is a cyclohexyl, maybe stop there. That's quite bulky. Benzene, cyclohexane looks like similar, but benzene is a double bond, a little smaller, and a little 매끌매끌해서 두 개가 있어도 하나가 더 뒤집어 들어갈 수 있어요. So triphenyl product is also called. Okay. So if it is a small one, then we don't need to think about that. But phenyl looks like a little big, but phenyl can generate the tri or the attack alcohol, tertiary alcohol like this. Reaction wise is similar to hydride, right? Hydride one attack, second attack, it's small, so that's easy. But up to phenyl, it can do similar reactions. Okay, move to the amide. Amide is the most stable. Amide is important, and partially because amide is the backbone of our most important biological material, proteins. Protein is a linear polymer of amino acids, and then to form this amide bond, we said that we use DCC, that we can make this bond. And very famous reagent, very famous drug, penicillin, has this kind of structure. Cyclic ester we call lactone. Cyclic amide we call lactam. Lactone has E at the end. Lactam, no E, lactam, end. 6 member the lactone, delta lactone. 5 member one is a gamma lactone. This one has four-membered lactam. What do you call? It's a beta-lactam. Okay. The name of the antibiotic beta-lactam means the meaning this structure, four-membered ring of amide. Four-membered ring, as you can guess, it could be quite. It may have a high ring strain, maybe unstable. The three-membered ring even stronger. That's why three-membered ring is very difficult to make. But four-membered ring is quite stable, ready to open. That's why if this compound goes into the biological system, then bacteria cells of this material attack this and then ring open. Amide is stable, but because of this ring strain, this is kind of reactive, like a bomb-like material, and this bond can be cleaved. That's how it can work as an antibiotic. Okay, now this one, if you look at here, this is amide, this side. This is amide, this side too. It's kind of a double amide. It has a special name. Anybody knows the name of this? Actually, this structure we have seen as the byproduct of DCC. DCC coupled diimine, the C and double bond to the other side, attacked in the middle, and then saturated layer. CO bond generated, and NH in each side. That one has some special name. It's a similar structure, right? One side here and the other side here. CO in the middle, NH. What is the name of the region? Pyrimidine, good guess. Pyrimidine is the name of this six-membered ring structure is pyrimidine. What I'm asking here is this motif, this much. I'm asking about the chemical question, chemical functional groups question. 여러분들 틀림없이 들어보면 수연이, 그죠? 틀림없이 들어봤어. 지난 시간에 내가 얘기를 해줘. 정말 몰라? 지영? 윤지영? 아? 잘 모르겠어. 정말 모르겠어. 억신 아니고. It's the first organic molecule man-made urea. So that structure is called as urea. Okay. Now to make this amide, if you make acyl halide, super easy. By adding any kind of amine, then you can put primary amine, secondary ammonia, primary amine, secondary amine. You can generate the amide very easy. Most reactive one, most stable one. Should be very easy. And this reaction, amide with water with acid catalyst. What do you expect? A lot of water, acid, heating. You may hydrolyze it. Right? Acid is less stable, but if you push with a lot of the material, then you can push the reactions a little less stable, but equilibrium can be pushed to this way. Now, comparing to ester, if you hydrolyze the amide, then if you look at the end product, amide means peptide or the protein. Is that acidic food or neutral food or basic food? We just said ester is acidic food, right? Amide, what do you think? It's basic food because of this, this. Then how about the other partner, this? It generates one base, but it also generates one acid too, right? Competing with acid plus base. Of course, there may be acidity basis is slightly different, but if this is broken in the middle, then it's formality-wise, formally, it's kind of one-to-one, so it's neutral. So that means that this reaction, previously we said that this acid is catalyst, right? Ester hydrolysis case, this acid was a catalyst in this reaction. that acid is a catalyst or reagent? Is that catalyst or reagent? 지오? 인지요? 지오 아닌데. You mean? That's a reagent? 야, 그렇게 한정을 팔았다고 싹 띄워두면 어떡해. That's also catalyst. But the difference is in the ester hydrolysis, the new acid was generated. That's why reaction speed could be exponentially increased. In this case, that effect you cannot expect because end product is also neutral. But this acid is recycled. It's still there. Same amount of acid there. Okay, that's a still catalyst, but not increasing catalyst as in ester. Okay. So everything is explained whether the product is acidic or product is neutral as a whole. Okay, base catalyzed reactions are similar. Here by adding this OH minus here, they generate like this and then generate this product. Now, question again. This OH minus, is that catalyst or reagent? It's a reagent. And the product is acid and amine. It's drawn like this, but this one is also base. So in principle, you don't need further base. This can be protonated and it can regenerate OH minus. It's catalyst too. 작은 거지만 작은 차이가 하나 생각해보면 어떻게 작은건지 생각을 할 수 있겠지. 그래서 key point는 whether you need to use one equivalent of hydroxide or not. Just a small amount of hydroxide still that can finish the reaction. That's the definition of catalyst. Right? Okay, this reaction. Amide with the lithium aluminum hydride. What product do you expect? With ester, it ended up with alcohol. Right? Push, and then remove and CO double bond pushed to push. One alcohol left and carbonyl pushed out, and then that is a protonated alcohol. How about here? If you push this and then one push out, now you have one O minus and NH the other side. If there was an ester, then protonation should happen here. Then it should be OH and NH2. But if you have two of them, that's not very stable. And then push up, and then rather than to lose this one, O and N. N is more stable. So O is removed and N remains. And not alcohol, it ends up with amine. Mechanism, if attack here, now two options, whether remove this or remove this. Okay. So if you have two of them, amine is more stable. So oxygen is removed by this, and then one more attack here. It's similar to CO bond attack, right? So end product is amine, not alcohol. If you review this reaction, now we had amide, CO and H, and if you reduce it, then effectively we can remove this oxygen and generate amine. Amide from amide to amine generation is the reaction. Now, lactam. Is this alpha lactam? 이걸 맞추자. 혜진아 무슨 lactam? Gamma lactam. Okay. Alpha, beta, gamma lactam. And if you add here, again, this guy can attack here, then ring open happens. In the lactam case, ring open happened, right? In this case, this bond will not be cleaved. Cleaved bond is this bond will be cleaved. So the result is just the oxygen is removed and then hydrogen is introduced. Still cyclic form, and this is made. Now utilizing this chemistry, how will you make this molecule? to make this molecule, this is amine. Sometimes amine, maybe to make this molecule, one option is you could clip here, and then using this one as a nucleophile, and ethyl halide is another way. But just different chemistry we just learned, something like this, right? Removing oxygen, and we can think putting oxygen as a precursor. Putting oxygen here is impossible. Then we can think putting oxygen here, CO double bond, amide. Then this can be your precursor. Then reagent, what reagent do you need? Sodium borohydride works? No, it's not reactive enough. You need to use lithium aluminum hydride. And this reagent can generate this product. One step reaction may be easy. Now, how about this? Now, this is two step reaction. To make this product, what do you need? From here, one thing you could think is here, maybe double bond here is not possible, maybe double bond here, the CO double bond here. That's one step precursor. Then to make this CO double bond here, what do you need from here? 이미 배웠는데 카본 하나를 늘리고 이게 CO 아마이드가 되려고 하면 뭘 만들면 좋을까? 다현아, 어떻게 하면 좋을까? 카르복실산 좋아. 어떻게 만들지? 두 가지 방법을 배웠는데 뭐 하나만 얘기하네. 카본 하나를 넣어주면서 카르복실산을 만들면 돼. 좋아. 좋은 출발이야. 어떻게 만들면 될까? Anybody? 하나? 나이트릴을 만들어서 여기다가 나이트릴로 공격해가지고 CN을 붙여서 하이드롤리시 쓰면 카르복실레스가 생긴다. 이게 하나 배운 거고, 그게 만약에 잘 안되면 세컨드리라서 두 번째 방법은 그리냐드 리에이전트를 만들어서 저기다 MG를 갈아 넣어가지고 저 사이클로 핵실을 누클레오파일로 활용하고 그 다음 하나 빠졌다. 마지막 거 이거를 MGBR로 만들고 나면 무슨 리에이전트를 쓴다? CO2를 써서 그러면 여기 있는 C-가 CO2를 공격해서 카르복실레이트가 만들어진다. 이렇게 두어져. 그렇게 해서 카르복실레이트를 만들고 나면 그러면 이 아민하고 아마이드 커플링을 하고 아마이드 커플링도 몇 가지 배웠는데 뭐 제일 쉬운 방법은 아실 할라이드를 만든 다음에 아민을 이걸 가지고 치면 아마이드가 만들어질 거고 그러면 전 단계까지 왔네. 그 다음 무슨 리에이전트 쓴다고? 리튬 알루미늄 하이드라이드를 쓰면 악시즈를 제거해서 만들어집니다. 자, 지금 얘기한 반응이 가장 싸고 좋은 반응은 아닐지도 몰라. 그러나 지금까지 배웠던 반응으로 이렇게 쌓아가면서 만들 수 있는 반응에는 해당되겠지. 나중에 여러 가지를 배우고 나면 그러면 이거 어떻게 만들까? 하고 내가 문제를 던지면 교과서에 나오는 지금 얘기한 한 3스텝, 4스텝짜리 반응 말고 훨씬 더 간단한 걸 제안을 해도 좋아. 리전을 하기만 하면. 길은 여러 가지가 있을 거예요. Okay. Now let's move to ester, amide, and let's think about thioester. Thioester was a little less stable than ester, a little more stable than acyl phosphate. Right? So it's kind of reactive species in biological system. In biological system, a lot of acylation reaction is also the important. In this case, now if you have amine, and then if you make this kind of amide, then nature needs some kind of acyl halide, but acyl halide is too reactive. Reactive with the water very quickly. So we cannot generate acyl halide. The next option may be ester. Ester may be a little less reactive, may not be the efficient reaction. That's why nature utilizes ATP triphosphate, acyl phosphate, and thioester is usually the reagent, depending on each cases. Now here, if it has thioester, and you may have heard many times, coenzyme A. Coenzyme A is the cofactor for the acylation reaction, and then original coenzyme is the SH, and this acetyl group is added here. This is loaded Zhangzhenden cofactor, and this reagent is providing this acyl group to the any nucleophiles. In our body, do you think we have a lot more nucleophile or more electrophile? More nucleophile or more electrophile? Nucleophile case, what can be nucleophile? Amines, thiols, alcohols, they can be nucleophile. Usually we don't have carbon C- or hydride reagent, it's very reactive. A little modified one, simple one is OH, NH2, SH, those are nucleophiles. We have a lot of them. Electrophiles are usually reactive. Electrophiles, only when we need it, then moderate electrophile temporarily prepare and use up. If not, this can generate a lot of unnecessary, unwanted reactions here and there. That's so-called alkylating reagent, used for anti-cancer drug. Those are just chemically reactive electrophiles, can react to any nucleophiles. That's why it can generate a lot of damages in the cell. Okay. So this is electrophile, reasonably reactive or reasonably mild electrophile, and then we can donate this acyl group to this. We hear many times coenzyme A, but usually we don't think about the structure. This is the structure of coenzyme A. It's not very big like a protein. There's a several peptide, and then this motif here, and then SH group at the end. This is an unloaded one. Once this is loaded with by this acyl phosphate, then this acetyl group is loaded. So this is more reactive, and this is less reactive, and it has some motif like this. Maybe most likely role of this part is recognition. 아무데나 아세트를 붙이면 안 되니까 얘를 인지해가지고 파트너가 오면 그 파트너한테 아세트 그룹을 도네이션하는 게 가장 일반적인 아시레이션 리액션. And here, as you can see here, this acyl group has a 2 carbon. So that's why usually our fatty acid molecules is a 2x2 is extended. 그래서 지방산 구조 보면 14개, 16개, 18개 이렇게 생기는 게 많지 17개, 15개는 거의 없어. Because of this acetyl donations. Okay? So this is a biological way of the acylating, utilizing thioester. One more. 거의 다 왔다. 돌아와라. 거의 다 왔다. 조금만 더 잡자. NADH or NADPH is a reducing agent in the body. They generate mild H-, and if this CO ester reacts with this NADH, it is the source of generating aldehyde. Now we learned 3 aldehyde reagents today. That's Martin reagent from ester to alcohol, and from ester to aldehyde using what reagent? Diba. That's what we learned today. In biological system, using NADH or NADPH, they're almost similar. The other side phosphate there or not, that's the other part here. Functional group is the same. This is mild hydride source. They react with the thioester and it generates aldehyde. It's a biological way. 하나 다 했다. 하나 더 있네. Sorry. 조금만 더 가자. 이거는 응용이니까 쉬울 거야. 하고 보면 쉬워. 그래서 파악을 알면 하고 이해는 할 수 있어. 그지? 자, if you react to this, what product do you expect? This amine may attack here, forming amide. But there's another side here. This amine can attack here, then it is cyclic form. If this molecule comes the other side and then attack here, then it may form this kind of continuously growing molecules, so-called polymer. And this polymer is based on amide bond, right? Then you may want to call this polyamide. It's one of maybe 3, 4, 5 the different polymer forms. This is one structure, polyamide. Similar things you can do for acid and alcohol. This is acid and amine, right? This is the activated form of acid. Other than that, this is basically same material. And if you push this direction, then it can form polymer too. Then the name of this polymer, what would you like to call? This one is a polyamide, and this one, polyester. So these guys are one of those basic structure of polymeric structure of amide and ester. One of the typical polyamide is nylon. Nylon is a 6 carbon here, 6 carbon here, and that's why this is called as polyamide 6,6. So this is nylon 66. One example of a polyamide as polymer material. If you do this reaction, what product do you expect? 거의 다 왔다. 조금만 더 있네. 상하가 김상하. 한마디 못해줘. This is polyester, but this polyester has a little special dye. The acid search like this phthalate. And phthalate, it could be, last time we learned about the phthalic anhydride. And that phthalic anhydride was 1,2 position. This is a 4 position, 1,4 position, this is a terephthalate. And this has a special name as, anybody knows the name? Polyethylene terephthalate PT. 우리가 말하는 페트병이라고 하는 그 머티리얼, 비교적 투명한 플라스틱. 그게 이 스트럭처를 가지고 있어. PT 스트럭처. 오케이? 자, 이 반응을 하면 뭐가 만들어질까요? nucleophile here, carbonyl position in the middle. One can attack here. Even one can attack here, then it forms ester, but this side the ester, this side is also ester. If this guy attack the other side, still that is just exchanged, but anyway, the end structure is a CO here and another oxygen here. So COO is ester, CONH was amide, and another amine group, that's what we call urea, right? And this in this case, CO in between, and then oxygen. And this is called as carbonate. So this is polycarbonate. If you mix them up, then one side is oxygen, the other side is N. That's also possible. Anybody knows the name? We have seen amide. We have seen ester. Polyurea is possible. NN polyurea. OO polycarbonate. ON is a mixed. Anybody knows the name? You ever heard? That is called as urethane or carbamate. So the structure and name is slightly different, but the basic principle is almost similar. N is more stable than oxygen, so urea is more stable, and ester is less stable. Amide is most stable, and that kind of polymer structures. Okay, finish up. These molecules we have learned so far carbonyl groups with one heteroatoms. Comparing to, first thing in Acyl is most important thing is the CO double bond, about 1700. Slightly longer, slightly shorter, but it doesn't matter. Any kind of carbonyl groups, ketone, aldehyde, carboxyl acid, amide, acyl halide, around 1700 and strong peak there. Okay. And in NMR, proton NMR, If you look at here, now this is an ester, example of an ester. Let's add up one more thing. If you see triple bond here and quadruple bond here, then this is a signature of ethyl group. CH2, CH3. This has 3, that's why this has coupling with this 3, it generates 4. Quadruplet. This has neighboring CH2, so because of this 2, it generates a triplet. That's one of those basic coupling, the constant the pattern. Right? So if you look at this pattern, this is the ethyl group. Any heteroatom added approximately 3 point something. Any carbonyl point about 2. 조금씩 리뷰하고 마지막 주에 이거 몰아서 오갱 말리클의 구조 분석하는 거 조금 해볼 거야. 할 수 있을 때 조금씩 눈에 익혀도 많이 안 가르쳤어. 카르본일 CO 더블 바운드 1700 레시프로컬 센티미터. 악시전 헤테로아톰 하나 붙으면 3점 얼마 정도. 두 개 카르본일 바로 옆에 있는 자리, 카르본일 바로 옆에 있는 자리 알파 포지션 2 정도. 우리 배운 몇 개 안 돼. 이런 거 모아가지고 할 테니까 여기 보이는 이게 에틸의 시그너처. 트리플 바운드 here, 카본 프로톤 3개, 쿼드루플 바운드 1개, 프로톤 2개. 저걸 보면 아 에틸이 있구나. 오케이. 카본 NMR 보면 키톤, 알데하이드 about 200. 얘네는 조금 짧아서 애시드하고 비슷하게 170 정도. 자세한 건 별로 안 봐도 좋아. 옆에 아실 something이면 170 정도. 양쪽이 다 알킬이나 하이드로젠 같은 키톤이나 알데하이드면 200 정도. Okay, again coming back to this on the table. This order is everything for this chapter. Okay, 한번 들어보자. 아실 halide, anhydride, and here acyl phosphate, and CO ester, and ester, and acid here, and ammonia. Okay, so based on this, we finished this acyl reaction this week. Next reaction is not on the carbonyl position, alpha position. Today, what we learned was nucleophilic addition to the carbonyl size carbon. That's here. It's attacked here. Electron deficient one here. Now, right next to it, alpha carbonyl group is here. If this is electron deficient, the other side is electron rich, and that acts as a nucleophile. That is what we are going to study next week. So to understand that, it's better to finish up here, review practical up to here, then you can smoothly continue to the next part. Okay? Just the 2 more chapters, and then we will sum up to here. And then very last one, amine one side. And I thought maybe biomolecule a little for the last week, but structure the elucidation utilizing spectroscopy, I'm thinking to practice for the last semester, the last week. Okay? Yeah, up to here. Okay, 숙제는 지금 바로 올려줄게.